What it takes. I know I got what it takes. I know I got what it takes. A very good afternoon to all our dear viewers. This is Younib TV and you're with me, Eunice Mutua, and welcome to today's news updates at 1. Now on to our first story. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has recognized the difficulties confronting the Social Health Authority, SHA, stating that the government is dedicated to addressing these issues and guaranteeing that every Kenyan has access to quality healthcare. His acknowledgement comes in response to increasing worry regarding the ongoing technical malfunctions on the SHA portal and the escalating financial burden on patients.
We need to do a lot of work, especially the efficiency aspects at the two authorities, the Social Health Authority and the Digital Health Authority. And let us take criticisms and feedback positively. If you're doing well, the public will not complain.
We have established the Benefits Package and Tariffs Advisory Panel, and they will be reviewing the benefits package every 2 years. That is to identify the concerns and critical components that need to be addressed urgently and for them to be implemented.
Our portal stability has only gotten worse, not better. Level 2 hospitals countrywide, whether public, private, or faith-based, 86% of them, which literally means all of them, have told us that they received no payments. They have received no payments since 1st of December up to date. And these are the hospitals where people are going for outpatient services by law, because we have limited outpatient cover to level 2 and level 3.
Delays in implementing capitation for the level 2 and 3 facilities, creating financial instability. Timely capitation payments will provide predictable financing for these facilities and ensure continuity.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers plans to resume their halted strike starting at midnight. They criticized the Council of Governors for their perceived indifference during the strike suspension and accused the national government of apparent bias against clinical officers. Additionally, Kericho County is on the brink of a health sector crisis, as doctors have also threatened to go on strike within the next 2 weeks.
We need to tell all the healthcare workers and the Kenyan that we not need to be comfortable in a situation where our resources are misdirected, as we continue to desire that we can have a better healthcare. We continue to see a government that continue to purport to talk about reform, but every time we see them acting, they act in a negative way.
We are in a crisis. A strike that was called, we suspended it for 21 days. Nothing is materializing. It is just blame game. When you ask, you are told imekwama siji kwa ofisi ya Mbadi, mara siji nini imefanya nini. As we are even saying that we are going to look for Raila Odinga.
If our doctors, the small number of them, to get frustrated and get stressed up because of the numbers and the role that the county should do of doing the employment of the doctors.
Former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu has asked the court to release him on bail, complaining that he is suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure. Waititu also says he has family responsibilities waiting for him. Waititu has started the process of appealing to the court regarding the decision given by the lower court. Elsewhere, a man accused of brutally murdering his wife in Huruma, Nairobi County, has surprised the public after telling the court that he wants to retract his statement, claiming he was forced to sign by the police.
On medical grounds. This is a man who is above 62 years old, suffering from chronic fatalistic diseases. We have provided evidence from Kenyatta National Hospital and the prison medical facilities. Remember, Baba Yao is a politician. Baba Yao is a citizen of this country. Baba Yao is protected by the constitutional provision of this country. This is not the first time the High Court and the Court of Appeal has released people who have been convicted by the ethics anti-corruption courts.
Now on to another story. Leaders from the Coast region have criticized those who say they lack patriotism for enjoying the failure of the former Kenyan candidate in the race for the African Union Commission chairman, Raila Odinga. The leaders were at an event to give thanks to the governor of Lamu, Issa Timami, after being elected as the new deputy leader of the UDA party.
Dr. Samoei Kipchirchir Arap Ruto kwa yale alionesha ukakamavu na Kenya, upenzi wa taifa, kwa kumunga mkono Raila Odinga awe chairman wa Africa Union. Ameonesha utaifa, ameonesha ukakamavu, ameonesha ujasiri. Alimbeba Raila katika mgongo, akatembea naye Kenya, ulimwengu mzima, Afrika nzima. Kwa juhudi zetu hazikuwa, lakini inshallah huko mbeleni juhudi nyingine zitakuwa.
Nataka kutoa shukrani kwa Rais Ruto. Huu wadhifa amenipa si wangu, huu ni wadhifa wenu nyinyi, na hiki ni cheo tutatumia ili watu wa Lamu wanufaiki.
Hata kama baba hajapata, lakini kuna mahasidi hapa Kenya. Ni wao peke yao, wao wanajitakia. Kama Mheshimiwa Timami amepewa deputy party leader, basi hafai. Lazima ni wao. Kwani hii Kenya ni yao peke yao?
Ikiwa deputy party leader ni wetu, SG ni wetu, chama ya UDA itakuwa ni ya nani hapa Kenya?
Mambo ya vetting tulikuwa tunakaguliwa kama ambaye sisi ni wakimbizi kutoka nchi zingine. Leo hii rais wetu Ruto ametuondolea dhulma kama hiyo.
On to other news, a panel consisting of 7 members has been formed to oversee the nomination process for chairpersons and 5 members of the National Police Service Commission, NPSC, and was officially sworn in at the Supreme Court. According to a Gazette notice issued on February 4th, 2025, President William Ruto designated Principal Administrative Secretary Arthur Osia, Judith Walubengo, Moses Serem, Dr. Cecilia Mutuku, Professor Marion Mutugi, Thomas Okoth Koyer, and John Karani as part of the selection panel tasked with appointing the chairperson and 5 members of the NPSC.
You are likely to get thousands of applications. I think we have seen that trend. And so it will require quite some wisdom and ability to sieve through and see what is required so that we are really able to pick the best candidates that can serve this country. Ultimately, it's for the welfare and the benefit of this country and for posterity. As you are well aware, I'm sure as you are selected, you know that there's a very high expectation. And I think Mr. Osia has also alluded to it. There's a very high expectation from the public about the operations and the management of the police force. And so you are identified as men and women that have got the qualifications, that have got the expertise to be able to deliver a very strong and robust commission that is going to superintend over the affairs of the police. So we want to congratulate you on your selection, on your appointment, and promise you our cooperation. We are always at hand. This is the first engagement that we normally have with the courts, and we are always at hand to facilitate this so that the process can move on very, very, very fast. We just wish also to reiterate the fact that this is a public trust that we have, just like all of us who are in the public service in one area, in one responsibility or the other. This is a trust that has been given to us under our constitution, and so it behoves us to be able to give it our best so that we can provide for Kenyans and our citizens the best there is.
Mine is first of all to congratulate fellow panelists for this appointment and to heartily thank His Excellency for appointing us in this very, very noble exercise. Noble because we are going to address issues relating to the management of the police force in the Republic of Kenya. And we all know that the police are a major cog in the chain of delivery of justice to the citizens of this country. We all understand the current challenges that the police force is going through. We all understand the expectations of the citizens of this country on the police force. And therefore, we are getting into an exercise that is going to demand for sobriety, is going to demand for a lot of integrity, is going to demand for patriotism from us. And we will need a lot of wisdom and prayers for us to pick the very few that we will present to His Excellency for consideration. I therefore want to ask all of us to go and reflect seriously on this appointment, the implications, the demands on our part, if we have to meet the expectations of the citizens of this country.
Now on to other story. Kenya will lose 30.9 billion shillings due to the decision of the American government to stop funding in the health sector through USAID. According to the Health Minister Deborah Mulongo, the suspension of funding from the United States will greatly affect the provision of health services, but the government plans to allocate 24.9 billion shillings to cover the gap that will be left by the suspension of the funding.
We are engaging diplomatic interventions. On Wednesday, we'll be meeting the U.S. acting ambassador. We also need to allocate 24.9 billion for commodities previously funded by USG, and disburse 2 billion allocated and allocate additional 2.5 for vaccines to avert funding freeze. Other critical programs are the blood transfusion program, where 2.8 billion World Bank support is ending in March 2025. Immunization and vaccines, 11.6 billion is required. Gavi and USG support again is at risk, and the recommendation will need disbursement of 2 billion immediately. So our asks for the counties to retain all healthcare workers for integration, counties to set aside funds to aid transition from the donor-funded programs.
A suspect accused of raping a woman in Ola Magadi, Kajiado County on February 13th has refuted the allegations. The court set a bond of 500,000 Kenya shillings with the case scheduled for mention on March 6, 2025. In the meantime, Gender Principal Secretary Anne Wangombe visited the Magadi area where 7 defilement and rape cases are currently being investigated and instructed security officers to capture the offenders.
Our major worry as women is that our girls and women are not in peace. People are living in fear at the ground. And the worst thing is that our leaders are nowhere to be seen in such cases. If this thing was affecting cattle or livestock, our men will be in the forefront talking about it.
Ile kitu ningependa kuambia the police, wasilegeze kamba, kwa sababu hawa watu tuko boda uko Tanzania. Hawa watu wanaweza fanya hizi mambo na watoroke waende Tanzania na
government. This has got to come to a stop, and we are grateful to His Excellency the President, because he has come up with a task force that is supposed to look into these issues. But meantime, together with the security, we are going to ensure that no stone is left unturned until we get the culprit.
Patia serikali 72 hours. Huyo mhalifu ambaye amenajisi wa mama zetu na dada zetu hapa Magadi aweze kushikwa, hatia za kisheria ziweze kuchukuliwa. Na tunaomba serikali, hatutaki kuona kesi hata moja ya unajisi hapa Magadi.
We have come to the end of our news updates at 1. You have been with me, Eunice Mutua. Keep watching Younib TV. Have a good afternoon.